Hello and welcome back to the Angry Dave podcast. I am Dave, and today you just have me talking about the thoughts that I've had over the last week or two. I think I'm going to call this Random Thoughts with Dave. That'll be it. For those of you, like my friend Kristen, who encouraged me to do these individual podcasts and have said nice things about my soothing radio voice, thank you. To others who may not like my soothing radio voice, that it's too monotone and it puts them to sleep and they get annoyed by it, you can go suck a big fat D. Okay? All right. So I have a list of things here that I've been thinking about, just random thoughts that come to my mind. I've taken to writing them down so I can share them with you. So here we go. First up, rapper names. First, I have a long-standing annoyance with rapper names that limit the ability to have a long career. Things like Young MC. Well, you don't see Young MC around anymore, right? Why? Because he's like 65 years old at this point. He's not young. Why would you give yourself a rapper name that limits the amount of time that you can be a rapper? Or like Fat Joe. I mean, what if Fat Joe went on a diet and got skinny? He wouldn't be fat anymore. It would be weird to be Fat Joe and you're like skinny. But annoyance with rapper names recently is they seem to be coming consistent with the way millennials name their restaurants in big cities. Like, you know, how you just sort of throw a bunch of words up against the wall and pick them out, and then that becomes your name of your restaurant. It seems to be happening with rapper names as well. Lil Nas X seems to be one of those in that category. So I think I'm going to open a restaurant and call it Pebble and Broccoli. And my rapper name will be Dark Scooby L. Just because, why not? I don't know. Because there are some words that I thought of when I was getting ready for this podcast. And I thought, hey, why don't you come to an after party here at Pebble and Broccoli and we'll have Dark Scooby L playing on the main stage. What? Wiki wiki. All right. Number 2, to all the chiropractors and PhDs out there, I'm very proud of your accomplishments, and you do provide things to the world. However, you're not a fucking doctor. So please don't introduce yourself as a doctor. Please do not ask me to call you a doctor. Doctors have medical degrees and have licenses to practice medicine. You guys are not doctors. If you're doctors, then I have a doctorate in law, so that makes me a doctor. So if I have to call you doctor, then I would like to be called Dr. Dave. Okay? But I don't really want to be called Dr. Dave because I don't think I deserve it because I'm not a medical doctor. I don't save lives. So you should stop. Okay? If you're a doctor of thinkology, like the scarecrow, that's great. I'm very proud of you. I'm glad you have a brain. I'm glad you're a scarecrow. I'm glad you have a brain. You're not a fucking doctor. Okay. Number 3. To all my friends out there, and you know who you are, particularly Billy P, who send videos that start very beautiful, often of half-naked women and maybe women that might be undressing. And then later in the video, it hits you with a big very vulgar thing that probably can get you fired from your job, please go suck a D and stop sending them those videos to me. I don't want to get fired, and I particularly don't want to get fired if I'm not going to see a beautiful woman naked. Okay? Thank you. To those of you out there that give 110% of effort, you should also suck a big fat D. I can't stand your hyperbole. It annoys me. It annoys me. Stop saying 110%. There's no 110%. You don't have 100%, 10% of effort. You only have 100%. Nobody ever gives 100% of anything. Cut it the fuck out. It annoys me. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I hate you. I don't hate you, but I hate when you do that. Okay? Thanks. Which leads me to my next thing, which I posted on the Facebook recently, about these people that you'll see on particularly LinkedIn recently, who like to tell you, like, somebody gets a promotion at work and they say, well deserved, congratulations. And they haven't worked with the person in 15 years. How the fuck do you know if it's well deserved? Why do you say stuff like that? It's phony. It's fake. Stop it. Just say congratulations. Why not just congratulations? Why do you have to make it like a personal thing, like you know that this person deserves it? You have no idea. There's a lot of people that get promotions that don't deserve it for whatever reason. But who cares? But just say things that you could actually, like, that you mean. It's so weird. Stop doing that. All right. On to my next topic. Greenheads. Greenhead flies. I hate them. I wish that they don't exist, and I don't understand why they have to exist. For anybody that doesn't know what a greenhead fly is, it is like a horsefly with a green head, and they are bloodthirsty little flies that hurt like fucking hell, and they are on the bay area, like in the swamp areas and the wetlands, and they are particularly bad in New Jersey, in the Bay, in June and July. They weren't terrible this year, but I was out on a jet ski on Saturday, and in the middle of the ocean, I was in the ocean, at least, I don't know, a quarter mile away from land, from anywhere that a fly could live, and I was getting bit by them. How do they get into the middle of the like, how? There's nobody around, like, there's no food source or like landing pad. How did they get there, and why do they attack my ankles? Why? And I can't get to them, and it hurts, and I hate them, and there's nothing to get rid of them. Why is there nothing to get rid of these damn things? They're fucking the devil spawn. I hate greenhead flies. Okay. Also, other things that I hate are unstable structures that are sold on the internet, particularly Amazon, that are allegedly designed to be permanent structures for your yard, that get a gust of wind and fly across the yard and break into 17 pieces. I've been trying to put up a pergola in my backyard for like 3 years. I have 3 different structures. They've all deteriorated very fast. Most recent one cost me like $900 and lasted 3 weeks. One stiff wind, it went across the yard. It was, made of like aluminum. It was supposed to be a permanent. I had it staked down. I did everything I was supposed to do. I read the instructions, and I let my wife lead the building effort, because that's the only way anything really gets done correctly, because I have a problem with taking my time on those things. But I did all the right things, meaning that I let Laura lead the show, and it's still flew across the yard, and I had to dispose of the $900 fucking pergola. So apparently, the only thing that really works in yards in New Jersey where you might get a gust of wind is wood. So I'll be trying to build a wood structure, and Amazon and all the other websites can go suck a D. My next thing that was on my mind recently are people that you see on the internet that like troll random things, like ads for restaurants or ads for, an act coming to a place and how they don't like the place or they don't like the act. Are you fucking like, do you really have that much time on your hands that you just have to go troll somebody that's trying to fucking advertise for something? It's the weirdest thing ever. I had a guy that, uh, Jacob and I, my son, my 17-year-old son, we did a podcast with Tony Ocean. Tony Ocean's a character that Jacob made. It's fucking hysterical if you haven't listened to it. But the guy made a comment and said that Tony Ocean had small dick energy. It's a fucking character, you idiot. Like, he literally listened to the podcast and didn't realize that a obvious joke was a joke and made a fucking comment that he had small dick energy. Yeah, he did have small dick energy, you goofball. It's a fucking character. But you have that much time on your hands. You're making comments about a fucking fake person. Oh, God. Go fuck yourself. Really. Go and just jump off a bridge. I mean, don't do that. I don't mean that. Sorry. But if you wanted to, it would be okay. Next thing. I noticed that there's some people out there that abbreviate Tom as THOM. Thom. Is that a thing? Like what? Is that like I've seen like 3 people that their nickname is Thom. That's weird. Can you please stop that? It's a fucking nickname. It's a short version of your name. Did you have to have the H in there? Well, it's a silent H. Why would you have the H in there? It's not adding anything. It's a fucking short version of your name. Why are you adding the extra letter? That makes no sense. You're a weirdo. Stop doing that, Thom. I don't like it. I would wish you would stop it. Thank you. Similarly, you get no respect from me if you actually introduce yourself as Doctor or Mr. and Miss or Mrs. to anyone. I don't care if it's a child. Like teachers, this is a rant I've had for a long time about teachers that introduce themselves as Mr. or Mrs. to adults, some of which may be old enough to be your parent. You're not Mr. or Mrs. to me. You are whatever the fuck your first name is. That's what you are. And my name's Dave. Your name's Mike. Whatever. Trisha. Whatever. That's what our names are. If you want my kid to call you Mr. or Mrs., that makes sense in the professional environment that you're in, the pseudo-professional environment that you're in. But I'm not calling you Mr. or Mrs. And I'm particularly not in a regular environment. If you introduce yourself as Mr. or Mrs., I'm going to ask you what your first name is. Or I probably won't talk to you because I'm really not that outgoing anyway. So if you give me a reason to not want to talk to you, that'll be perfectly fine with me. And I'll just stare into space. Thank you. Please stop that. And doctors, I don't like it. You're a doctor. I know you're a doctor. That's nice. Go fuck yourself. What's your first name? You pretentious prick. Next thought is the anti-tech crowd. So I have like these people in my life who, I don't know, won't get like PayPal or Venmo. They're like the last of the Mohicans. They don't answer text messages. They only want phone calls. Come on, guys. What the fuck? I mean, we're 25 years into this now. Can we like move, Can we move past the typewriter phase? It's like the typewriter attitude. Like we're going to save the typewriter jobs. Let's move past it. Stop annoying me. Get fucking Venmo so I can fucking pay you. If I was short on the bar tab, I'd just Venmo you. I don't want to have to wait 7 years to pay you. It annoys me. Move into the 21st century, guys, please. Hey, by the way, nobody really uses email anymore except for at work. So the text message, you know what I mean? Yeah, you got to answer them. And who leaves voicemails? Is that something we still do? We still leave voicemails? Don't leave me a voicemail. Just text me, please. Thanks. All right. So I wanted to wait to at least a little bit of the middle of the podcast to start talking about some of the intrusive thoughts that I have on a regular basis. So probably to not scare you away. Not that, I don't know, me crying about dumb shit probably scares you away anyway. But in any event, so here are a few of the intrusive thoughts that I've had recently. And that it's kind of a recurring thought that I have about my wife dying. I mean, I'll be a bloody mess if the woman dies. We've been together since we were 18 years old. I don't, she organizes my life tremendously, and and she is nice to me and likes me, and for reasons that are still unexplainable. But I was thinking about this the other day, and if she does pass away, this is probably going to get me arrested. But I was wondering if she actually had enough life insurance for us to survive. I mean, I don't need a lot. I just want to pay off the house. You know what I mean? So I don't have to. So I can deal without her salary. It'd be nice. But because I am who I am, the thought didn't stop there. And I don't. Maybe I shouldn't verbalize this on a podcast that's going to be out on the internet for everybody to hear. But I thought, if she does die, well, like how long do I have to wait until I date? 6 months? A year? I mean, probably a year for the kids' sake. I don't know, maybe longer than that for the kids' sakes. But I don't know that I can do that. And then, do I use the sympathy card? You know what I mean? Oh, I loved her so much. I miss her so much. It's hard. Can we have sex? You know what I'm saying? I'm probably going to use the sympathy card, guys. I'm not above it. But, and then the other thing is, like, she dies. What happens if, Jacob has a friend that's, has daddy issues? Can I date my son's like 20-something-year-old friends? Is that okay? It's probably not. It's probably not okay. Probably not okay. It's probably not okay to think about. It's probably not okay to think about, especially thinking about women with daddy issues. Not good. Not good. All right, I'm going to move on for that. I came up with a game many years ago when I was still practicing law, and because I was annoyed by several people in the law profession, and it was choke, torture, kill. I posted about choke, torture, kill on the internet, and I almost got banned from Facebook and Instagram. So I guess I just have to talk about it on my podcast. Mark Zuckerberg did not like the choke, torture, kill pictures that I put up on the internet. Apparently, that's against their policy of violence against human beings. But in any event, what would you do? You pick three people, and you have to decide whether you're going to choke, torture, kill them, or kill them. Choke would be the least aggressive thing to do. They just deserve to maybe pass out for a little bit. Torture, in my estimation, is the worst thing that you could do because, they still live, but it's awful, and they would probably rather die than be tortured. And then kill is like the second in between, is the in between thing. So, pick those three people that annoy the fuck out of you. And what would you do? Any three people. Have at it, world. I got drunk a few weeks ago and I posted on the internet a intrusive thought that I had out of nowhere, really. I was just sitting at the bar and I thought about anal sex. Not that I'm allowed to have that, but in any event, I thought if you are doing something as intrusive as anal sex, you should always whisper sweet loving into the ear of your partner when you're doing it, and probably caress and be very sweet and nice and gentle because they are giving their pooper to you. All right, next topic. Is it wrong, like, if you hear maybe that somebody dies that you know, and your first thought that comes to your mind, oh man, I really like that person. It's really sad that they're dead. Why couldn't it have been the other sister? Nobody really liked her. Is is that wrong? I mean, it's probably not wrong to think. I think other people have probably thought it. It's probably wrong to verbalize, and maybe probably even more wrong to text maybe your friends of your thoughts and try to get them to, head to hell with you. But sometimes I do that, and sometimes I think that, and maybe you do too. But there are people that are better off alive with others better off dead. Like if you had to say which one would you pick, you know, I mean, you might have an opinion on which one should actually be dead or not. And unfortunately, I have those opinions sometimes. They pop into my head. I guess I'll have to apologize when I get to heaven. The pearly gates, whatever. I don't know. What the fuck. I also have some updates for you. So if you've been listening to the podcast, you know I've been having a hell of a time with my lawnmower, my riding mower. So I did successfully fix the lawnmower by myself. I ordered a couple parts, and the key to it really was taking the lawnmower, taking the part off of the lawnmower and putting it inside and taking my time with it and not trying to lay on the ground and force it back into submission. I'm learn I'm learning that maybe if I take my time with things, they'll go a little bit better, and that brute force is not always the option. I know I'm 47 years old, and I probably should have realized that much sooner in my life. However, I have a problem with patience. I'm working on it. All right? I'm working on it. And I actually used some patience. I took the lawnmower deck off. I brought it inside to the little workroom I have, and I took it apart and put it back together and fixed the belt thing, where repositioned some things on it. It was very good. I did a good job, and it works now. And I cut the lawn today with no problems. Also, the thing you might want to know about riding mowers is that you probably shouldn't run them at full speed all the time, even over the hills and stuff, and you should probably try to get the sticks and stuff out of the way so you don't keep fucking breaking it. Bull in China shop syndrome. I have lots of problems with overly aggressive behavior. I'm learning that that's probably ADHD that I have. Um, so anyway, I probably should have learned that before I was 47 as well. But I'm here, and the lawnmower's fixed, so we're good. We're good. Also, on the update front, I am using my reading glasses more regularly now. I have fully given in to needing them because I try to read a menu and it's just blurry at any given time. So I have given in. I am using them. I have learned from my ADHD that I need to put them in as many places as I can, so I always have a pair at every location that I'm going to be and may need to use the pair, instead of worrying about me actually remembering to bring them places, because that's not going to happen. But if I put them in the car and at my desk and in the two houses, I'm generally okay. All right. Number 3, I do need a chiro. I probably shouldn't use any chiro that listens to this podcast now, since I just told you you weren't a doctor, but my back's been killing me, and I need to sack up and go and get it fixed. All right. Next thing on my list of thoughts is, very recently I was reminded again about how pleasantness and sincerity are two entirely different things. So what I mean by that is that there are people that can be very pleasant to be around, very nice time, seem to be, giving and all the great things that you want in a friend, but actually not be a friend at all. They're just fun to be around or nice to be around and always have a good attitude. But that good attitude does not necessarily translate into friendship or sincerity in a friendship. It's like the used car salesman kind of a thing. But I think people oftentimes get very duped by people like that. They got a smile on their face. They're nice to you, but they'll never give you anything back, despite whatever you may be giving to them. And again, you don't, you shouldn't necessarily give to want to receive something back, but for a friendship, it has to be reciprocal. And a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but there are, just to remind myself and to remind the people out there in the world, to remind my friends that seem to get duped by people like this, is that just because they're pleasant doesn't really actually mean that they're a nice person or a good person or a person that you can count on. That's all. Those types of people are fun to be around. I mean, they serve their purpose for you and for each other, but you don't necessarily have to go out of your way for people like that when there's nothing that's ever going to be reciprocated. That's all. That's that's all from the high horse desk. One of the other things that annoy me, the more social media stuff, these single, I've been getting these on social media, these single lady videos of, I'm 40 something and single, and I cook and clean and make $1 million and nobody loves me. I don't understand why. Well, I know why. Because you're a fucking crazy bitch and you're posting videos of yourself talking about this. You're clearly fucking insane. So that's it. The answer is you're insane. That's why you don't have a partner, because you're insane. Because anybody that would post a video about themselves like that is insane. Okay. Also, parents filming their kids and posting it on the internet of their kids acting like a complete and utter asshole. You're a fucking bag of dicks. You should not be a parent, and you should go kill yourself. I mean, not kill yourself, but if you jumped off a bridge, it would be okay. Because you are putting this child into the world who thinks that it's okay to treat people like assholes. The videos that I most often see is the kid treating the parent like an asshole, cursing at him, whatever, just being obstinate. And if you think that's funny, God help us all. Stop doing that. Reprimand your kid. Treat him to be a decent human being, please. Thanks. Oh, these videos of people with like more popular videos, and they they have themselves on the one side and then this other video, and they're just like shaking their head in agreement with it. Jesus Christ. Stop that. Oh my God. What the fuck? It's literally like the person's not saying anything. They're just nodding their head in agreement of some wild fucking thing that somebody's saying. Can you have an independent thought, please? How about you say something independent? Something? Anything? I don't want to see your ugly face nodding. Please stop those. And also, there's these other videos of like the dude or the wife standing on the side laughing while the wife or the husband is dancing, but they're not doing anything, and then like the wife and the husband is like dancing stupid, but it's like contrived, right? It's not like a natural video. You're literally standing there filming yourself fake laughing while the other person is doing something. I hate them. I hate those videos. Can we do something? Does everybody have to have, like, you have nothing to say? Anyway, all right, I'm going to move on. It's just annoying. The biggest thing that I cannot stand on the internet right now that makes me want to vomit every time I see it is these white girl videos of them singing or them dancing to N-word songs and then mouthing, like lip syncing somebody talking that's like an ethnic voice, like a black person voice. This white girl, mouthing a black person's voice, or similarly singing or dancing. Not They don't necessarily say the N word, but they'll dance to the N word songs. Fucking stop that! Holy fucking shit, white girls, stop that immediately. Everybody thinks you're a racist. I just want you to know that. I think you're a fucking closet racist when you're dancing to the N-word songs. It's not cute. I want you to stop. Finally, I have some advice for Dana White. Not that he really needs my advice because he's a fucking billionaire and turned UFC from a dying organization into a multi-billion-dollar corporation. But I'm going to offer some advice anyway. And I talked about this on the internet recently. First of all, you need to get rid of the 125-pound men's weight division. That's fake. I hate it. No grown man weighs 125 pounds. I am 5'6", and I have not been 125 pounds since I was about 12, 13 years old. Yep, 13 years old. Maybe 14. 14 years old was the last time I was 125 pounds. That's like anorexic for anybody except for a midget. So if you have midgets fighting or little people fighting, then great. Under 5 foot tall, 125-pound weight limit, fine. I'm okay with it. But anybody who is over 5'3", nobody weighs 125 pounds, dude. So cut that out. Second, Dana, I would like you to start having people weigh in the day of, maybe early in that morning, so they stop cutting the weight that they cut, because it's ridiculous to watch a person fight at, like, say, 155 pounds, and then they walked into the octagon at 175, 180 pounds. Maybe do it like the wrestlers do it, where, you can't drop only a certain amount of body fat, whatever. But it would be nice to see people fight at their actual, like, walk around weight, as opposed to some, fake weight where they're just fucking taking all the water out of their body and then rehydrating the next day. That's weird. Thirdly, I think you need to have a couple additional weight classes. So I need you to get rid of the 125-pound weight class. Then there needs to be like 165-pound weight class, so 155, and then I think it goes up to 180 or 185. There should be a weight class in between there. And then particularly even if you don't add that weight class, there needs to be something in between. There's the light heavyweight, which is 205, and then anything over 205 is heavyweight. I think there needs to be like a 225-pound weight class. Maybe they call that the cruiserweight. And then above 225 is, not unlimited. Everybody wants to see a big fat guys fight. I want to see big, enormous dudes fight. I think it would be awesome, but it's not fair to large men that might be under 225 to have to fight these fucking enormous human beings. So that's my take, Dana. You can listen to me if you want to. I doubt you will. But, also, if you're above 6 feet tall, you should not be able to be in a weight class anything less than 155. That's just anorexic. That's disgusting. So, just saying, maybe there should be like a height and weight limit, something like that. You know what I mean? If you're above a certain height, you can only fit into certain categories. I like that idea because it's more like natural. In any event, that's my thought on that. And I think I'm done for now. So until next time, I'm out. Peace.